Hi, this is Jason with Violent Comics Collectibles coming at you with another toy review. This time we're taking a look at the Star Wars Power of the Force Luke Skywalker figure. And he comes with a grappling hook and a grappling hook blaster and lightsaber. And this is from the Power of the Force 2 collection that came out in 1995. So the first thing we do is take a closer look at the figure. Alright, so overall impressions of the packaging. I love the Star Wars the Star Wars Power of the Force 2 packaging. I love the orange carded one specifically because they also did another series where it was the Power of the Force 2, but they started doing greenbacks and then hologram stuff. But this is the stuff that I collected when I was a kid. This is what I got, for Christmas. I mean, when these came out, these were incredibly hard to get. And I mean, some of the things you might notice is Luke Skywalker looks like he's He-Man's son. I mean, they really bulked all these characters up. He's a lot more muscular and brutish than Luke Skywalker was in the movies. It's one thing to notice. Now, they did have a couple of variations of these figure. They originally released this figure with a long lightsaber, and that is the one you see before you. It's a very, very long lightsaber. And what had happened was they realized it was unproportional to the character, so they actually fixed the lightsaber and they made it short. So they have this one was the first one, and then in between the first and the second, they basically made a shorter lightsaber, but they still had the plastic tray that held the longer lightsaber, which I don't have an example of. And then after that, when they started manufacturing them, they have a Luke Skywalker that the lightsaber tray, the little slot is made specifically for the shorter saber, which I'll show in 1 second. And here we have the two next to each other, and I'll kind of zoom in. You'll kind of see on this one, see how long the lightsaber is? It actually goes all the way to the top of the plastic bubble. It's a very long lightsaber. And then we move over to here, and you'll see how the lightsaber is much shorter. And the in-between version that was released in between these two versions actually had just like, the indentation in the bubble was right there that would hold the longer lightsaber because they still had the packaging. But this lightsaber is a more proportional size lightsaber. This is kind of the size they stuck with all the toys continuing on. Now they also had it where on the back of the card there's a serial numbers, and the serial numbers varied by like .005, and there's different ones had different serial numbers. But I mean, the easiest way to look at the difference is just to look at the actual the lightsabers. And in the back of the package just kind of gives a little stats of Luke Skywalker's little card that they wanted you. When you open the figure up, you could cut it out and kind of file it away. It also shows the other characters in the toy line that originally released, as well as the different vehicles that came out. So let's get this guy opened up. Alright, so overall impressions of the figure, I love this figure. Like I said, this is the toy line I played with as a kid. These are my figures, and I love this thing. So in his hand, he's got the longer lightsaber. You can see how absolutely ridiculous this thing is. I mean, it's absolutely huge. And then he's got his grappling hook. This was very, very easily broken. This tiny piece of plastic. I mean, it was just it's rubberish, but it could break real easy. A lot of people I knew that had these toys, the grappling hook was the first thing to break. You can obviously see he's really bulked up. I mean, you can zoom in. I mean, he's got like massive pectorials, and obviously Luke Skywalker was a skinny little kid in the first one. So they took definitely some liberties with this figure. I mean, it looks great, and compared to the original Power of the Force that came out when the original movies came out, these figures are far superior. I mean, I absolutely love these figures as far as the sculpting. I mean, they're fantastic. And the way they did the lightsabers are actually swords now. They're not something that pops out of the hand. And they got the translucent plastic. It just looks great. So we'll put in the actual shorter lightsaber. And we'll actually, you can kind of see, Here's the long guy, and there's a short guy. So a huge difference. But even the molding and the handle and the hilt was good. You know, not as good as we get now, but I mean, very, very good for the age. And now you can kind of see this looks a little bit better. And this is the size lightsaber they ended up sticking with. But much more proportional for the figure. So overall impressions of this figure, like I said, I love the sculpting. They obviously took some liberties. I mean, it looks like Mark Hamill on steroids, but you know, great figure, great improvement over the original Power of the Force series. I love the lightsabers. Now obviously the lightsaber was too long when it originally came out, and Kenner did end up fixing that. I'm not really sure which one they would probably consider more rare. I know the long one's a little bit harder to get, but I also think that the short lightsaber with the long bubble holder, like I think that is the more of the rare one, because a lot of people didn't really realize that. And then the other one with just the short lightsaber was just kind of the one they produced. And they also produced this in green carded versions in like a Series 3. But fantastic figure, one of my absolute favorites. And once again, this has been Jason with Filer Comics and Collectibles. Any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and I'll see you guys next time.